Welcome to Heart Talk in the City. My name is Irene Baguma, and today we are meeting with our guest, Ciera Martin Elward. She's a community leader whose journey reminds us that confidence, honestly, grows alongside purpose. And Ciera, from local service here in Mountain House to global collaborations, she has stepped into leadership with intention, with heart and with humility. And also what makes her story really special, Ciera, is not just about her work, but how she has grown along the way as she does this work. And also we'll also be talking to her about what motivates her, how her service has strengthened her, and what leadership looks like. Ciera, welcome. Thank you for joining Heart Talk in the City.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, before we talk about leadership and service, tell us about Ciera. Who is Ciera, the family woman?
So, thank you for having me. And I am from Pleasanton. I was born and raised, I come from a family with horse racing. And so I have a little bit different background. I moved out to Mountain House about 7 years ago with my husband, well, he was my boyfriend at the time. And we have been here seven years, but it's funny because I really didn't get into the community until I joined Rotary, which was not until a couple years ago. But we lived here about 5 years and didn't know anybody. We would go to all the events, but it's really hard to meet people, you know? And so until I joined Rotary, we really didn't have any life here in town. But yeah, my stepson, he's at 15, he goes to school at Granada. He's a sophomore and is on the JV basketball team.
Okay. So how do they support you, and how does serving other people, how does it help show you as a person?
Well, they support me in all the ways that most people wouldn't want to. They have to put away all of the stuff when we go, all the Rotary events, they're putting all the stuff away. They do all the things that, you know, most people don't have to do with service, I guess. Usually when you're done, but the stuff still has to go somewhere. So thankfully I have my husband and my son to really help me put that stuff away, and try not to complain so much, but they, we don't always lead with the same direction. I lead with a more servant heart, I like to say, and my, they just like life.
Thank you for letting us in a little bit on your personal life. So what first drew you to serving the community? And
so in 2022, I had lost a lot of my family. So I lost my best friend in January at 39 years, and then my aunt passed away in July, and then my grandma passed away in December. And when my grandma passed away, I just didn't even know what to do with my hair or anything, because everything I did, I felt like my grandma was a part of my decisions, you know, up until that point where I lost them. And so I really didn't know, like I said, know what to do. And so somebody told me that when you're having a bad day or when you're missing them, to do something that they would like to do or would be proud of you for doing. So I joined Rotary that night because I have, my great aunt had bought a restaurant in downtown Pleasanton called Haps. And she started holding Rotary meetings in 1955 at her restaurant, far before women could even join. Women couldn't join Rotary until 1986. So she held Rotary meetings there from 55 until when she passed away in 96, and that's when we lost the restaurant at that point. But yeah, we had a huge Rotary background. And my grandma always put Julie on a shelf because she did so much good for the community. And we really didn't know what that meant, but in my mind, Julie was always, you know, up here. And so when I lost my grandma, I was like, what would she be proud of me for doing? And it was something that Julie would like to do. So I joined Rotary.
I'm sorry about your loss. And it's a good thing you picked up on what they've done and carrying forward.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Yes, so you serve as an ambassador for Rotary, Rotary's WASH program. So in your own words, tell us about WASH. What does WASH focus on? What is WASH?
So WASH is a Rotary action group. So Rotary has 7 areas of focus that they focus all of the attention on. The 7 areas of focus are taken from the United Nations 17 sustainable development goals, which is what they feel would bring like world peace and which was like clean water, education. So we took the United Nations Sustainable Goal 4 and Sustainable Development Goal 4 and developed WASH. WASH is water, sanitation, and hygiene, which so basically anything water related or we just completed a international project in India, putting toilets in a school. Water, sanitation, and hygiene has created a focus strategy for the next 10 years that they are trying to really mainstream what we're trying to focus on, which is more healthcare and more schools, because that's where people tend to want to care about a little bit more, is kids and healthcare. So, but right now, there's more people getting sick from hygiene and than dirty water. There's more clean water in the world right now than there is hygiene available. And so in India, the new prime minister has actually just put out a real big push for toilets in the country, because it's still a thing out there. And so anyways, we just completed a project. We brought four different schools toilets.
Okay, that's great. Do you plan on spreading out to all other countries that need that?
Yes. So water, sanitation, hygiene. We're an action group. So there's 46,000 clubs internationally. Rotary has, and if anybody wants to do a water, sanitation, and hygiene program, wants to do a project, wherever that is, say you could do them in Zimbabwe or do one down in Peru or wherever, you would have to have you'd have to have a club on the other side that will help. So we had an idea, we wanted to raise money and go to Peru and bring a village water there, for instance. Even though we were able to secure the financing and everything, we would still need a club on the other side in Peru to actually do the footwork for us. So we really, so WASH can really help. WASH is the action group that can kind of put the two clubs together. So we kind of do, WASH has a lot of resources and the ability to kind of be the middle grounds between a project and the clubs.
Okay. So the clubs you're talking about on the other side are Rotary clubs, right?
All Rotary clubs, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do they have to have been in action for a while, or can you just form it today because you heard about WASH?
Yeah, no, you would want a club that has a little bit of history, yeah, because it's really these are big projects.
Yes.
To have a global project, it's got to have over $30,000 project. So yeah, it's really important to have a club that you can rely on over there. So, and that it takes a lot of legwork. So a new club might not be ready for it unless there's some really good leaders in the club.
Okay, thank you for that clarification, because people need to know, just going to form a club because you need funding for a project. Yes.
Yes.
There's so many people who are not genuine out there.
Yes, Rotary holds very high standards, pretty much way more than here in other countries, actually. In other countries, Rotary is held at the highest level, and a lot of Rotary clubs have, people will go against the government before they go against Rotary, I feel like, sometimes.
True. So what about that work? The work you do, what about it is so close to your heart?
So I feel the closest to my people, my grandma, my aunt, my friend, when I'm doing Rotary, when I'm doing service of any kind. So I've also joined, because I am new Rotarian, I've only been in a few years. I don't know everything like some of these very seasoned Rotarians, 20, 30, 50 years. But I can talk. And so that's one thing that I've found. I have a passion for Rotary, and I can talk to anybody. And so that's where I kind of found my niche. I do a lot. That's how I kind of became an ambassador. And because people don't know about things unless you talk about it, right?
Absolutely.
And that's what happens is Rotarians are so humble. And so when they do these projects, they don't tell the world about it because they just wanted to bring, so-and-so, whatever, do good over here. But it's really hard when they're humble and not talking about it, because then nobody will start, getting on board, and then Rotary starts to kind of die down. But I was able to take my talking and hone that into talking about Rotary and talking about and spreading the word. So that's what I kind of do with WASH. I'm on the operations team for marketing. I'm on the global marketing and communications team, and I'm also on the steering committee for the ambassador program for WASH. And I joined actually a local networking group, the Business Networking International, which was formed by a Rotarian in the 80s. So he's a Rotarian and started a networking group, which I ended up joining for Rotary. So really tying everything in together, bringing the talking down to a lot.
Okay. Thank you for using your gift to talk about Rotary. I've heard about Rotary. Some of our family members have been in Rotary, but they really don't talk about what's being done out there.
Oh man.
So you recently participated in a Rotary collaboration with the UN?
Yeah.
So what was the purpose of that collaboration?
So Rotary and the United Nations have been working together for over 80 years. So in 1942, Rotary and the United Nations started working together in order to come up with a game plan for when World War II ended, to have some kind of peace in the world, and have just a game plan for it. So in 1945, when the United Nations was actually formed, it was formed in San Francisco, and it was signed at the Herbert Theater on Van Ness, it's right next to the Opera House. Really beautiful area. So they had their 80-year celebration last Thursday, the 11th, and they asked Water, Sanitation, and Hygiene to have a table there because we align with their sustainable goals. So myself and an ambassador from San Francisco, Rick Chin, and an ambassador from Sacramento, Siva Kumar, came with the three of us manned the table. And so we were able to talk to all the world, literally the world leaders. They were all walking around, and it was just so neat to be able to be surrounded by that, because I feel like Rotary has put me in places that I never would go before, and sitting around the tables with people I never would have had I not joined Rotary. So, I didn't even really know what the United Nations was until I was asked to go, and it's such an honor, and I love doing this stuff, and it's so cool to me. I actually I didn't realize who I was talking to, but the Rotary International president, he's from Italy. His wife, I was talking to his wife apparently, and she was commenting on my earrings. I was wearing these earrings, which she asked me where I got them, and I told her a truck stop in Wyoming. And I continued to tell her about this truck stop until I realized who she was. But it was just so fun, it just, they're all just humans just like us, and you realize that in those moments, so. But it was fun.
Okay, that was my next question about your experience. Your experience in that program. All right, thank you for sharing. So, did that moment affirm anything deeper within you personally, or about your role?
I just want to do more. I want to do more. I feel like there's so many people that have the technical skills that sometimes Rotary needs, because a lot of times people just need to be asked. And so there's Rotarians out there that really are new Rotarians that don't feel comfortable like going above them and asking their leadership if they could join WASH or do more if there's something else. Because people join Rotary because they want to do service, but they get stuck in the clubs that aren't allowing them to grow. And so if I could do anything, I would love to be able to get to the new Rotarians and say there's more out there than just our clubs. There's so much that Rotary that can be done, and that needs technical skills that, whatever that may be in people, whether computers or water treatments, and our focus is really, large, and so anything, there's need for everything out there. So people join, that don't join because they feel like, oh, the club, they've already got a lot of people, they don't need me. Rotary always needs more people. And so beyond what I do, I just would like to spread that, out there, because Rotary is really cool, and there's so much of it that it's made my life better. I mean, 100%. I really don't know what I get mad at Rotary sometimes and I don't want to do it, but then I'm like, what would I do? I wouldn't have anything to do. I can't do BNI. I wouldn't be able to do Rotary. I would have no friends. And so anyways, I think the Rotary can open up the doors for people that may not even realize you need opening. And we're in an epidemic of loneliness right now,
Yes.
So everybody needs somebody right now, and it's really hard to make friends as an adult.
It is.
Where do you meet people? I mean, we went to the music in the parks for 4 years, and we would say hi to people and meet people or whatever, but you can't ask, oh, do you want to go out to dinner? That's really awkward, or something. And so I've actually tried that, and people are like, oh, I'm married. I'm like, I'm not asking you on a date. So anyways, Rotary really can help, once you start allowing that, once you allow it into your life, then everything kind of can start changing, because you've allowed change into your life, I guess.
Yes. I hope the listeners have taken that to heart.
Yeah.
Rotary needs your experience, it needs your expertise, and you also get to meet people. Please join Rotary.
Yeah.
And it's Rotary in Mountain House. Yes. So you talked briefly about BNI, your roles. Explain BNI to somebody who's not familiar with it.
So BNI is a networking group here, and we're also an international networking group. Again, started by Dr. Ivan Meisner in 1985, who was a 16-year Rotarian at the time, who wanted to take it to he joined because he wanted to network, which is kind of what Rotary was started off of. Rotary was actually there was 4 lawyers in Chicago, and they wanted to network their businesses. And eventually they started doing community service, which business and community service don't really go together, money. So Dr. Meisner loved Rotary, but he really wanted to do business networking. So he started his own, this group called Business Network International. And I believe there's, I don't know how many chapters there are, but we have, I think, 7 in our area. But in our city, it's only 1 profession per category. So there's only 1 realtor in the group, and there's only 1 photographer. And it's all about really just learning, building relationships and getting to know each other, because the more comfortable we are with each other, the easier it is to naturally refer you when I'm out and about talking. So we meet every Wednesday at 8:15 at the Welcome Center here in Mountain House. And I'm the vice president and hold the nonprofit seat. Although nonprofits are the one profession, or the one category that we can have multiple of, because you can't have enough goodness in the world. So
yes. So viewers, please. I was going to ask about the time, because the time used to be 7.
Yeah, it used to be
and
early.
That was
hard
not possible for people. So I hope the listeners know it's now at 8:30, so they can join BNI.
Yeah. And I don't know what our club would have done without BNI. I mean, honestly, BNI has changed so much. I mean, and any business owner that's in BNI can say the same thing, that everything has, it's kind of like when you start putting positive into the world, you get positive back, right?
Absolutely,
so
yes.
we meet outside of the meetings, we all meet together, which is one of the requirements to start building our relationships, and we do a lot of continuing education, so it naturally grows you as a human. I mean, you're going to get putting all of that work into something besides, to putting into your business. And so it really kind of helps develop you as a better person, which is who I am today. So thanks to BNI and Rotary.
Okay. As a local and regional leader, what responsibilities have you taken on, and what drew you to step into those roles?
I just kind of stepped into them. I didn't, there wasn't much thought into it. they all kind of came on as time progressed with stuff. But gosh, you know, when you're doing this stuff, you don't even realize your responsibilities you have, or what you're even doing moving forward. You know, sometimes I've felt like I just treading water, but really, you know, we had a small club last year. We had 6 members, and we've grown to 14 members in 8 months. So our Rotary Club's doubled in size, and we've really made headway in the district. And so when last June we had our district awards, and our club won 6 out of 8 out of our in our district, which that's pretty cool. That was pretty good, because we just stepping up and just being a part. Really, I humbled myself when I first when I was president last year, and went to all the other clubs and kind of volunteered my service to them, because I needed to learn myself of what to do and where to go. So I just started volunteering at other clubs and helping out, and really just started from that point to see what I wanted to do with Rotary, even because we're a new city, and we're a new, relatively new club, and so we don't know what's out there, and so I got out there. So that's really I'm really proud of the progress that I've made in the district, and not because I'm doing really big things, but because of the relationships that I've made, and in our city, but really, and internationally, I guess too. I work with a lot of people through WASH, and it's pretty neat to have some connections everywhere.
Yes, those collaborations and the people in it.
Yeah.
It's not just about profiting, giving back, and the people you meet. It enriches you as a person.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us about the new technology system that you helped implement.
With BNI.
Yes.
Yeah, so again, it was something that when I first joined BNI, I learned, well, we were implementing it at the time, and so I helped our president at the time, Erica, really help get it going in our chapter. So I knew it like second nature. I didn't know the old ways. And that's something that I hear often, the old way. We've always done it this way. It's like, well, time is to change. That's where we're at in life. So there's the 7 other groups, other chapters in our area. I've really helped get their clubs on board. So it's taken a lot of going out and building that relationship first. Brian was really good at helping the other clubs or chapters understand that there's bigger things out there. And so anyway, once that relationship was done and that trust was made, then I can come in and help with which is crazy. I'm able to help with anything technical because I don't know the words for it, but I know how to get around the computer a little bit. But yeah, no. So it's been fun getting to know other chapters though, and other regional leaders in BNI, because otherwise I wouldn't have met them right there. Really, had I not had that piece of information that I was able to get in with them and kind of get to know them and what they do a little bit too.
Okay. Does that help with your confidence level? Saying I can do anything.
I really feel like I can. I had a really hard time I could always talk organically with people, no problem. But when you ask me to get in front of people or speak, I would cry. And so I guess, learning that I had something to offer, I guess. When I started to realize the value that I had, with these niches, I guess, so to speak, and beyond. So that definitely helps. But just getting to know people, really just across the board, I feel like has allowed me to kind of walk through conversations a little bit better, I guess.
Right. Okay, Rotary speaks of service above self, while BNI talks about givers gain.
Yes.
How do these ideas show up in how you live and how you lead?
Well, it's funny, somebody asked me last year, service above self. So Rotary has a 4-way test. So out of all things that we think, say, or do, this is Rotarians, what we all, so first, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it be beneficial to others? And will it build goodwill, better friendships? So anything we do, and it's not to judge other people, because if I say you're not living up to the test, that's just what I'm judging you. This is just what we hold ourselves to. So I feel like being able to hold myself to that standard really has allowed me to put service above self and be selfless about things. And in BNI, the Givers Gain is because we're a referral based, group, and so the more referrals I give, the more referrals I end up getting. Which, for me, I have gotten so much help from the community as Rotary. It's been overwhelming what the community has really stepped up for, and my BNI members who have gone out to the community and helped get me the support needed. But last year we needed some help, and I needed a lawyer for Rotary to help me with some paperwork, and we couldn't afford it as a club, and so BNI is international, and it has this networking wall, so to speak, and it's kind of like its own little chat thing. So I put on there, I was looking for an attorney, and what I needed it for, and within 2 hours, somebody from there's an attorney from Chico who was a Rotarian, and a estate planning attorney that was able to walk me through my paperwork, and she called it a 1-to-1 and didn't charge me a consultation. So it was pretty cool to be able to cross over the two lives, and they go so parallel with each other. The Givers Gain and the service above self, that anything in between I feel like is all the same to me. So, and yeah.
Okay. I think the 4-way test, honestly, I think it's a moral. It's a moral. What can I call it?
It's like a credo.
Yeah, I think everybody should live by that. Is it true? Is it
fair to all
is it
concerned?
fair to all concerned? Is it
Build goodwill, better friendships?
Yes, I think those should be signs that should be put everywhere, because in this day and age, people just get up and say whatever suits them, whether it's true or not true, whether it hurts other people or not. It's something we all need to live by.
Yeah.
Yes, I think so.
It was that was made by a banker in 1932, or 1928, and he came up with that for his job description.
Oh, really?
So when people came to his bank to be an employee, they had to sign that. He was a Rotarian.
Okay.
And so he then brought it to the chapter, and that's how they adopted it into Rotary.
That is cool.
Yeah. But I mean, as an employee, that's something they would have to sign. Everything that they think, say, and do. Is it fair? Is it the truth?
Yeah, I think we should all sign it in our minds and when we get out there to do stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So, with a full-time job, volunteer, leadership, how do you stay grounded? How do you avoid burnout? And with family and all.
So, when I lost my aunt, she had so many people, lives that she touched. And you didn't realize it until the funeral. So when I really stepped into service, my husband, it kind of became a thing where this was going to be what makes me a better person. And we both kind of found a happy medium, but I just do as much as possible. Burnout for me is when things get ugly. That's when I don't want to do stuff. I don't burn out on moving forward. I only burn out when things are ugly or not, and I just want to, and I don't want to stop. I just want to do things a different way somewhere else. So, I grew up in horse racing. You work 7 days a week. There's no days off. So that's how I grew up. We don't have retirement plans. We didn't have, insurance really, we were very country. And so, that's just the work ethic that I have. So, I just do as much as possible. But now all of my lives are all overlapping. My work, my life, my Rotary, my BNI. My husband's even talking about joining Rotary. I'm not going to push him on it, but I told him I would hold him higher standards than anybody else. So I'm going to ask him to double think that before he actually does. But when it all kind of goes together, it doesn't feel like you have to really juggle anything. You just have to schedule it. I'm terrible at that. So.
and also don't overlap and don't do things that, sometimes some of us sometimes you overschedule. You find, oh, I have about 4 appointments today or something, and then you get exhausted, you get confused. But yes, horse racing briefly.
Yeah.
Did you compete?
Yeah. So that's my size. My whole family's in the horse racing business, and tall people don't really happen in horse racing. Jockeys have to be less than 114 pounds to ride a horse with their saddle, tack, and boots on.
Really?
Yes. So all of my family is very small, and so I grew up. I was in a rodeo accident when I was younger, actually, and I came off my horse and hit a pole. I had 11 root canals in one summer, which led me into the dental business. So I work in dental. So it actually is kind of full circle a little bit there. But yeah, horse racing is really special. There's a lot of, horses are amazing creatures. I'm actually going to starting a nonprofit for equine therapy for kids with special needs and taking retired racehorses, which California's horse racing has kind of gone down the drain in recent years. But my family all kind of, it's deep in my blood. It's deep in my, and I advocated for horsemen for a long time. I actually did some advocacy work, and I really fell in love with service when I was helping the horsemen, because there's so many people that don't have insurance and don't know the ropes, and so advocacy is one thing that I got from horse racing. I was never tough enough to be in horse racing. My family, I didn't like the element, and I didn't like to sweat, or I'm worthless when I'm cold. So, and out there you have to do everything outside, and so I've got a job in the office. But I love, that's where my heart is on the racetrack. But in the city, well, kind of like the Beverly Hillbillies Mountain House. But
through this conversation, I realized you sort of go full circle. Whatever you start, you go full circle, which is,
I know you got to follow along.
Special gift.
Sorry.
Yes. So you've served the Mountain House on global platforms like the UN. What has this journey taught you about small acts of service? So
you don't realize what little small act you're doing, until you're there. And there's a couple girls here in town that. And they're twins here in town. I just love these girls, and I didn't realize what an impact I was making by these little things that they're doing until recently, and they had approached me, and these girls have a lot of confidence, and they're uber smart, and to hear what they, and I don't feel like I do anything differently, but they said that my confidence and the way that I'm able to kind of maneuver through the community, because they know what kind of situations we're in sometimes. Sometimes when we're doing events, situations get pretty tense, and I just keep smiling and kind of dusting myself off and keep going type of mentality. And so that they've really appreciated. And even their mom had reached out to me and told me in great length how much it's meant to them. And these, like I said, these girls, I sit up straighter when I'm around them. Like I just couldn't imagine I made an impact on them. But so that was pretty cool.
Oh, that's good. Yes. Yes, thank you for sharing. Any last words to anyone out there who needs motivation, moms, children?
Just do it. I would like to say that Rotary can Rotary changes lives, in all kinds of ways. But there's something for everybody out there. And so many moms, I know, like when kids start leaving, or the kids start, 12, 14, and they're doing their own thing, they kind of start feeling like they don't have a lot of, you almost feel a little bit empty, like you're not sure what. Rotary's a great place for you. Or any service organization, Kiwanis Club, anything, but just get involved. Because getting involved, you hear about this all your life. Oh, get involved. But when you get involved, it's pretty cool. We have a pretty cool city here. And the residents are really receptive, and it's just really fun. So get involved.
That's true. Yes. So thank you, Ciera, for reminding us that service does not begin on a global stage. To our viewers out there, service begins with small acts in your community, in your home. And you don't have to know it all, but just that, yes, I'll do it. It will fill your heart. You will get rewarded in so many ways. Thank you, Mountain House community, for joining us at Heart Talk in the City. Thank you, Ciera, for sharing with us your journey.